Aspartame's health consequences are being examined more closely by WHO specialists. Global health organizations are re-evaluating the safety of aspartame decades after it was authorized for use in the United States and considering any possible links to cancer. This month, the International Agency for Research on Cancer of the World Health Organization examined the sweetener's potential carcinogenic consequences. The Joint Expert Group on Food Additives, a separate WHO and UN group, is currently revising its risk assessment and defining an acceptable daily consumption. They have not yet made their conclusions known, but they will do so on July 14. Coke Zero Sugar, Diet Coke, Sprite Zero, Pepsi Zero Sugar, and Mountain Dew Zero Sugar all employ aspartame as a sweetener. Other goods that contain it include toothpaste, cough drops, and chewing gum. Aspartame has undergone numerous reviews by the U.S. Food and Drug Administration, which has determined that it is safe for use by most people. In advance of the WHO analysis, the FDA revised its webpage on aspartame and other sweetener. It claims to monitor the most recent scientific findings and consumer exposure to sweeteners, and it refers to aspartame as one of the most studied food additives in the human food supply. Independent global health specialists make up both WHO committees. The study from the Joint Expert Committee on Food Additives will offer suggestions for how much aspartame a person can safely consume. The International Agency for Evidence on Cancer examined the body of evidence to determine whether aspartame is dangerous. According to Ki Sun, an associate professor of nutrition and epidemiology at Harvard's T. Chain School of Public Health, the Cancer Research Committee's list of potential carcinogens is extensive. As an illustration, he cited the designation of mobile gadgets as possible carcinogens, which denotes that there is limited evidence linking them to human cancer. Sun, meanwhile, asserts that buyers shouldn't necessarily be concerned. It boils down to what kind of evidence we have, he said, as to whether aspartame can be regarded as a carcinogen. I don't think there's enough evidence to establish either way that aspartame causes cancer or that it's not as carcinogenic, he said. The safety of aspartame has been questioned, according to gastrointestinal oncologist James Farrell of the Yale School of Medicine. I think you just have to be aware that there's a question over this, he said. And the folks who have raised this subject have a valid justification for doing so. It has been examined from a medical and scientific standpoint. Therefore, it would be unwise to dismiss it, in my opinion. Long before the meetings this month, U.S. health officials expressed worry about WHO conducting two distinct reviews. The U.S. Department of Health and Human Services stated in a letter from August that there was a chance that the concurrent reviews of aspartame by the WHO could result in conflicting conclusions, which would seriously undermine public trust in the scientific method and inflame the current climate of public skepticism about the validity of science and scientific process. In its letter, HHS stated that the Joint Expert Committee on Food Additives ought to be the only body that examines the potential cancer risks of aspartame in food. The WHO responded by stating that the reviews will be complementary. The Cancer Research Committee would evaluate aspartame's possible cancer risk after not having previously examined it. The Food Additive Committee would revise its risk analysis and specify the daily aspartame intake that it deems to be acceptable. The conclusion of the first group represents only part of the evaluation of the second group, according to WHO. The FDA released both letters online. The WHO committees are international organizations, but the FDA will decide on aspartame regulations on its own. Sun stated that although the agency is under no obligation to modify its current regulations, it will likely take the data into consideration after the report's release in July. Safety is a top issue according to the American Beverage Association, which speaks on behalf of beverage manufacturers like PepsiCo and Coca-Cola. We are confident in the safety of our products because aspartame continues to be deemed safe by food safety agencies around the world, including the FDA. The statement read, "The World Health Organization (WHO) advised against using sugar alternatives last month, claiming that while they may have a temporary impact, they do not prevent obesity in the long run. Like anything in life, you must begin by practicing moderation," according to Farrell. If they publish information that raises or casts doubt on aspartame safety, why wouldn't that be a logical thing to think about if you can control your intake? Sun believes that those who are seeking to cut back on their intake of sugar can momentarily benefit from using artificial sweeteners like aspartame. In the long run, he asserted, there are significantly superior beverage choices, such as water, unsweetened teas, or reduced-fat milk whose health advantages are amply documented. Instead of worrying about consuming artificially sweetened beverages and cancer, Sun suggested that consumers just switch to those commonplace drinks to improve their health. Either way, we don't have any evidence. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more breaking news updates like this one.